Hi there, watercolor kids. Welcome to episode 7 of Paint and Play, where we're gonna have fun and be creative with watercolor. This video is just for you, or you can watch with an adult. And remember that at any point in this video, you can pause it, rewind, or ask your adult to comment below with any questions or thoughts you might have. In all of our episodes of Paint and Play, we're going to gather our supplies, recite our mindset mottos, do our breathing exercise, learn something new about watercolor, and paint this really cute gingerbread cookie that's shaped like a cat together. Meowy Christmas. You could also write Meowy Catmas, right? So let's grab our supplies, get some watercolor paper, your watercolor paint set, some watercolor brushes, a pencil and an eraser, a jar of water, some paper towel, and for today's episode, I'm going to be using some cookie cutters that are shaped like a cat. But you can use whatever shape you have. You could do a star, a tree, a snowman. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you're able to create a shape on your card. Now, if you have a cat shape, that's perfect, but don't worry if you don't. Now, the other thing you will need is a crayon, and you're going to need the color white. Okay, so get a white crayon. Now that we have gathered our supplies, let's recite our mindset mottos. Are you ready? Will you repeat after me? We are all creative. We will be kind to ourselves and to others. Before we get started, let's do our breathing exercise together. Remember to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, out through your mouth for 6 seconds. I'll turn on some relaxing music and you can breathe on your own. Here we go. I hope you're feeling relaxed and ready to paint. Today's painting technique that we're going to learn is called wax resist. Can you say that with me? Wax resist. So we have 2 words here. The word wax refers to our crayon. Did you know that crayons are made out of wax? And the second word, resist, means that you don't want to do something. For example, if your parent asks you to put on your shoes and you don't want to, that means that you are resisting. Does that make sense? So what does that mean with watercolors? So when we want to use this technique with watercolors, we're actually going to use the wax or the crayon first. Then we're going to paint over it. And you're going to notice that the paint is going to resist the waxy areas. You'll see what I mean. So let's practice first. Grab your pencil and draw some small circles. I'm going to draw 4 of them. And then I'm going to use my crayon to just scribble in some lines or shapes or whatever you want. Make sure that you're using your crayon pretty hard. Okay, so use a lot of pressure. Now the cool part is you don't have to wait for the wax to dry or anything. It's already dry, right? So let's take our brush, dip it in some water, make sure that it's wet. But for this wax resist to work well, you want to make sure that your paint is not too dark, okay? So that means you want a lot of water on your brush. So after you wake up the paint, wash it out a little bit, leave your brush a little bit wet, and then go back to the paint and pick up just a little bit. And then paint inside one of the circles. Wow! Did you see that? Did you see how the purple didn't touch or it resisted the area where I drew with the crayon? Isn't that so cool? Let's try it again. That was some pretty cool watercolor magic. Let's do this practice a little bit more so that we get comfortable with using the white crayon. Now this time I'm not going to sketch a shape, but I'm just going to use the white crayon and just keep scribbling, just drawing some lines or drawing some scribbles, whatever you want, okay? And then do the same thing that you just did, but this time you just don't have a pencil shape, but you can paint wherever you want on your piece of paper. Wow, look at these wax resist paintings. I hope you're having so much fun with this technique. Now, if you're ready to go onto a greeting card, grab another small piece of paper and let's get started. Okay, I'm starting out with a pencil and I'm using this cookie cutter. I'm placing it kind of in the middle of my paper and I'm going to use my pencil to trace the inside. Make sure that you sketch kind of lightly, okay? Now I want my cat to kind of look like a gingerbread cookie. So gingerbread cookies have a white icing around the edge of it. So that's what I'm going to do with my crayon. Do you see how the edges of my cat are white? So that's where I'm going to draw with the white crayon. So I'm just following the line that I just sketched. Okay, now let's wake up a brown color paint. We want our gingerbread cookie to be a little bit brownish. Tell the paint to wake up. Use some water to wake up. Wake up, paint. Wake up. Now remember, in our practice, we needed to use really light paint colors, right? So make sure that your brush is very wet and then you only pick up a little bit of paint at a time, okay? What you can also do, if you have extra mixing areas, maybe you can use your lid or you can use a porcelain plate. You can ask your adult about that. But you can take a little bit of the paint, move it to that mixing area, and then add a lot of water. And then you'll notice that the color gets lighter. Remember how we talked about values? So now I'm going to use that paint color to paint my cat. It's looking really adorable already. Now again, if you don't have a cat cookie cutter, that's okay. Your gingerbread cookie can be any shape you want. I'm going to use my black marker and write Meowy Christmas, but you can also just write Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or Merry Catmas or Meowy Catmas, whatever you'd like. The next step is to draw on the face and the bow tie of our cat. You want to make sure that your cat is completely dry. Okay, so if you need to set it down, take a break and then come back, that's okay. Or you can also ask your adult to help you use a hair dryer, and you can use that on here too. But when you're ready to add the details, let's add the bow tie first. I chose a red color for Christmas. I'm drawing in some eyes with a pencil and the nose. I'm using black for the eyes and a light pink for the nose. And then I drew a little mouth. Now this last step is optional, but I decided to add a polka dot background. And I used Christmassy colors, so greens and reds and some yellows. So it looks like there are twinkling lights in the background. right, so what do you think? I hope you're so proud of yourself for creating this painting with me. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Paint and Play as we painted these cute gingerbread cat cookies and learned about wax resist. Join me next time as we continue to explore watercolors and paint and play together. I'll see you next time. Happy painting. Bye.